This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion. She's an update. She's a big one. Actually, not the one you'd probably be thinking of on a day when Connor McDavid is announced out of the lineup for 2 to 3 weeks. Hopefully less than that, says Ken Holland. He's back in Toronto, as we now know, getting prepped to undergo a little bit of rehab for a quad injury. That said, ladies and gentlemen, we've got ourselves some more news coming in. This is going to be a field day for Edmonton journalists, guys like me, absolutely, for sure, because the Oilers just pumping out the news today, right? Obviously, Connor McDavid. Then you've got Ken Holland in the same press conference mentioning, business might be booming here at the trade deadline for us, depending how we do in the next 7 or so games. But yeah, right, it all comes together at the end of the day. It is what it is. It's just talk at this point, and to get too excited about it is what it is. But then all of us having a field day trying to recover from the McDavid news. Whew, what a good time to announce an extension for Joakim Nygard. This is going to be, without probably me really covering it, really probably something that goes really under the radar for the rest of the season, and then nobody's thinking about it, and then everybody in the off season's asking, when did we sign Nygard to an extension? Because, right, like I said, perfect timing. Not really. Right, Nygard doesn't get a shine in the spotlight because all the headlines for the Oilers, when you Google the Oilers, when you try to tune into SportsCenter, are all still going to be focused on Connor McDavid's out for 2 to 3 weeks. Trust me, Sportsnet Central, trust me, SportsCenter are not going to do a 1-minute video tonight or a 1-minute news story on Joakim Nygard getting signed to an extension. Very highly unlikely when you've got Connor McDavid missing 2 to 3 weeks right before the trade deadline. In fact, probably maybe if it is that 3 weeks going past the trade deadline. So let's get to it, shall we? Guys, with that said, hit that subscribe button if you're interested in staying around for Oilers news throughout the rest of the year, going into playoffs and everything there, because it's going to be a good time. The more of us we have here, the better of a community we have, and the more sane we all stay instead of going on Twitter to try and justify opinions when, I'm sorry, there are some special cases on Twitter, absolutely. Alright, let's get that said. 3 goals, 6 assists, 9 points. And actually, I should justify that special cases on Twitter. I'm one of them, so don't take offense. I am one of them myself. 9 points, 33 games played for Joakim Nygard in his NHL debut. His 27-year-old season. He was going to free agency, of course, and you know what? We signed him. It was a big hoopla. It was something everybody was like, oh man, we're in a bidding war with him in terms of Calgary, and you know what? We came out on top. We got this fast guy. Things looked really good. Things started good. That Haas to Nygard play. Life's good. You know what? It started good, then it went dormant, and you know what? 9 points, 33 games played. Realistically, out of Nygard, based on an entry-level deal this year, I would be taking this all day long. That's 23 points in an NHL season. And guys, if you're not kidding me that you wouldn't take 23 points out of a guy who is just adjusting the league, playing pro hockey in North America for the first time in his life, you're mistaken, right? Is Joakim Nygard's got to learn at some point. And the worst part is, Nygard's never gotten the benefit of the doubt that Haas got to go to the AHL, work on a couple of things, come back up. I know Haas only played, 2 games in the AHL, but literally, Haas was a completely different player from set A to set B in the NHL, and that's what I thought Nygard could have really used. But problem with Nygard this year, and the one thing that makes this such an interesting contract, is the fact of how often injured he has been this season. Is right, you think about the abdominal injury, I believe it was, rib injury? Yeah, I think it was a rib injury he had earlier in the season. And now he's been out with the hand injury since January 29th. He's had surgery, this, that, and the other thing. And of course, he was out for a while before that as well, from the 18th to the 29th. So Joakim Nygard really not having much luck in his NHL season to debut. But that's okay, guys. That's at the end of the day. And that's why the reported number for Joakim Nygard in Puckpedia's term of things. Puckpedia is like the my off-brand. I know they do their own work and they do good work, but like I am a cap-friendly guy. Puckpedia is the opposing side of that. You have 2 options, right? You have McDonald's or Wendy's. Like Puckpedia is your Wendy's kind of deal. Probably okay. Actually, I like Wendy's more. So cap-friendly's my Wendy's. Puckpedia is McDonald's, but you get where you go, and you get a greasy burger either way you go, right? And that's cap numbers. That's kind of the deal we're dealing in when it comes to Puckpedia and Cap Friendly. Now, boys at Cap Friendly, if you're listening to this, man, recruit me. Recruit me. That's what I'm asking. But that said, Puckpedia reporting an 875 contract for Joakim Nygard. What 875 is? $875,000, a 1-year contract extension. So that's all right, right? Just sure it up. Make sure the roster is good for next year. We like what we have in Nygard. It's not fancy, but we do like it, and that's fine. We're allowed to like the simple things in life. And Joakim Nygard, speed. That's pretty simple in today's game. We like speed, while Joakim Nygard has a lot of it. So that's fun and dandy. Now, Joakim Nygard, a couple of key pieces here for you is he has a 46% goals for differential percentage. And then you've got a 44% Corsi for anyone who cares about that. And a 134 points per 60. So that's what he produces, points per 60. Now, realistically, you're talking he plays about an average of 10.41 a night. So 10.6. So 60 divided by 10.66 is about 5.66. So you divide that 1.3334 divided by 5.66. You're looking at he averages about 20 a quarter of a point per game, which is exactly where we're looking. So he's not that big game changer, but that just puts it into another perspective for you. That said, he is shooting below 10% this season. He's shooting at 7.7%. I mean, yeah, sure, he's taken 39 shots, but you look at the situations in which Nygard's been in this season, he really hasn't had that chance to succeed yet this season, right? He hasn't played much, if at all, on the power play. He's not really a penalty killer by any means, and realistically at the same rate, like he's playing third, fourth line minutes. And when he was on the top line, he produced a little bit with McDavid. When he was on the second line, he produced a little bit there as well. But he just hasn't found his niche yet in the lineup, and that's perfectly fine. Guys, remember, this is a guy who's been injured several times over this year, and through the team's, first 55 games, 56 games of the season, he's played a total of 33 games. Yeah, that's going to tell you the transition period is still happening for Joakim Nygard, so that's fine. And look at me, still trying to go out there and say Joakim Nygard. That's where we're at, right? This is still a fairly new player to the whole system of Edmonton Oilers realm, and you know what? This is by far not the worst thing. Like, you want to grade things worse than this? The Darnell Nurse extension is far worse than a Joakim Nygard extension at this point, 100%. Not saying depends where you view on the Darnell Nurse extension, but in terms of where fans should be up in arms, this is not it. So I'm glad that I haven't seen too much overreaction to us signing Joakim Nygard to an 875 contract, because at the end of the day, all this is leading to, this just keeps leading to the inevitability that in the offseason, a couple of contracts are going out the door, right? Sam Gagner, cap space for this year, not a worry for next year. But you look, maybe now you start talking Alex Chiasson might be losing his role on this team. You start looking at it forward going into next year. Well, suddenly, okay, what else could be happening, right? Where's another guy that might be looking on the way out? Chris Russell. You've got several options here, right? Obviously, you don't know which way it's going to go, and that's fine. And the other side too is the fact that Eric Graba money comes off the board, so you want to use $300K to throw at Nygard. Well, technically speaking, you're paying less than league minimum for him, just based on not paying Graba anymore. So, right, there's 100 ways to phrase it, and this is almost really a do-nothing contract at the end of the day, right? It's no risk, high reward if it pans out, and if it doesn't, I'm sure there's the option to bury it in the minors, and at $875K, that's going to cost us absolutely nothing at the end of the day. And realistically, for Nygard, get back, get right, and hopefully produce. That's Nygard's MO for the rest of the season. And guys, let me tell you, that playoff speed that Nygard could bring, that could be a difference maker for sure. And we know when Nygard's 100% healthy, the difference maker he is based on drawing penalties, getting in, working hard in the offensive zone, and that speed being the game changer. I love it. I absolutely love it. So guys, What else you need to know about Nygard? He's not a guy that costs you out there. Look at that. 14 takeaways, 10 giveaways. He blocks shots, not a lot of them, but he blocks one every 4 games, so a good forward rate, right? He's a winger, he's not a centerman, so he's not as down low. And you look at this, he's done nothing across the board to cost this Edmonton Oilers team. 8 penalty minutes in 33 games. He's drawn probably double that in penalty minutes this season. Guys, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. Let's get ready for the game against the Chicago Blackhawks tonight. Lots to get to in that one. We'll live stream it at 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. I am up on out of here.